Netflix has been getting a lot of original content in regards to animated shows lately, and I've watched a few of them. It's been a while since these have premiered, so you know what that means. It's time for another multi-review! So first on the docket is Disenchantment. This is a show by Matt Groening, creator of The Simpsons and Futurama, so people had some high expectations. They might have been too high if you ask me, because people seem really disappointed in this show. The show takes place in a typical medieval fantasy world, and the main character is a princess named Bean who lives in a castle with her father King Zog. She's a bit adventurous though, and eventually meets up with an elf named Elfo and a demon named Lucy. I've seen some criticisms of this show in that it's using a tired trope of the adventurous princess. Would people rather have her be a classic damsel in distress? Is it really a tired trope, or do people just not know what they want? Anyway, one criticism that I think is a fair point is the fact that the show is a lot more episodic than people were hoping. Though I'm not sure what people were expecting really, since Matt Groening's previous works are pretty episodic. Maybe the marketing for the show was having people expect a better overarching plot. Not that there isn't one, there's a lot of continuity in the show, and by the end it seems like they're working towards something bigger. As far as the humor in the show and how the show feels, I'd say it feels a lot more like Futurama than it does The Simpsons. It's basically Futurama but medieval. There's even a lot of the same voice actors like John DiMaggio, Billy West, David Herman, and Trace McNeil. The setup of the episodes might feel very similar since Bean always goes out drinking with her friends, and that may be a reason why people haven't really welcomed the show as much. I like the characters just fine, but they're not quite as endearing as Matt Groening's previous works. It's only the first season, so we'll see where it goes from here. Next up is The Dragon Prince. Another show that has some prestigious backing behind it, with the creator being the head writer and director for Avatar: The Last Airbender. In stills, this show looks pretty good. In motion, oh god, why is it so laggy? Seriously, it stutters more than Porky Pig. It's like a YouTube video that never finishes buffering. It's more jerky than Jack Link's. Okay, I'll stop. Yeah, the biggest thing holding back this show is the actual animation. The designs are cool, the backgrounds look beautiful, but the 3D models of the characters just look bad in motion. I assume they were trying to make it look 2D with the cel shading, but it isn't smooth. It doesn't make it look 2D, it's just bad 3D. What's worse is that it's very inconsistent. Sometimes the action scenes look alright, but then other times, basic lip syncing is off. It's really strange. Even the 2D effects like water and fire look much better than the 3D models. It's not that I'm against 3D being used in a show, it has been done well. But man, this just looks bad to me. And it was really hard for me to get past that animation to watch all 9 episodes of the first season. The Dragon Prince has a lot of potential. The first season sets up an adventure with these 3 characters, Callum, Rayla, and Ezran. I particularly like Rayla's design and the elves in general, they look really cool. The world feels very defined, and I'd love to see more of it. It's just unfortunate that it's held back by its really choppy animation. So those 2 were from creators that have previously worked on really well-regarded shows. They are like 2 students from 2 families of great accomplishments. But one is a disappointment to many teachers, and the other falters in one of its major subjects. But then, at the school, comes this new student. This perfect little angel that no one expected named Hilda that can do no wrong. If you couldn't tell, I really liked Hilda. Hilda is based on a graphic novel series, and man, it translated really well into animation. It has this very excellent color palette, and the outlines have a pencil-like look to them that makes it very much feel like a graphic novel or a comic strip. It has this very chill yet mysterious atmosphere. One of the little details I love about the show is how you can see dust particles in the light of the windows. The animation is smooth, and it reminds me a lot of what Star vs. looks like in motion. The main character Hilda is an adventurous girl that was raised in a cabin out in the wilderness. Eventually, her and her mother have to move to the city, and there she meets 2 new friends, David and Frida. The beginning of the show to me felt very much like Adventure Time of all things. It has the same kind of flow in the plot in the first couple of episodes, but once they move to the city, it feels a bit more grounded, I guess, and it moves to more of a Gravity Falls feeling. Though mixing Adventure Time and Gravity Falls isn't a bad thing at all. The show is pretty episodic most of the time, though it still has connections and ongoing arcs throughout. There's a lot of interesting creatures and spirits throughout the show, and even side characters that don't appear for long can be very fun. Man, the more I think about it, it does remind me a lot of Adventure Time. Maybe I'm just still mourning the loss. There are also elves in the show. Wait, there's been elves in every show I've talked about in this video. And they're all really different interpretations. Disenchantment had ones that are Smurf-like, the Dragon Prince had more high fantasy type elves, and Hilda has tiny elves that are obsessed with bureaucracy and paperwork. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, Hilda is great. It's fun, vibrant, and a really great watch for anyone craving some chill, adventurous cartoon to fill the void in their heart after Adventure Time has ended. I'm gonna go cry about that some more. Anyway, if you have seen any of these shows, let me know what you thought of them down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!